Jai Shri Ram. If you want to meet Krishna, then simply by listening to lectures or simply by exercising your mind and philosophizing, and if you happen to be weak physically, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally, then also it's not possible. And nor can you meet Krishna if you are carelessly following some rituals, some sampradaya, some religion, some cult through a false notion of austerity. See, false notion of tapas. And the Vedas in the Mundaka Upanishad, which is 3.2.3 and 4, Mundaka Upanishad 3.2, 3.2.3 and 3.2.4. We will get these two mantras which are saying that if you want to meet Krishna, if you want moksha, atma jnana, brahma jnana, call it whatever you want. There can be n number of names. That means moksha, salvation, redemption, freedom. Freedom from what? From misery, this continuous misery of life and birth. In these desert cults, their concept of salvation is going to eternal heaven. These foolish fellows don't understand that if you go to eternal heaven and if you are eternally being fed the same thing, and in their heavens they have lot of food, fruits, drink and women, and nothing for women. Only men will have so many things to enjoy. I don't want to get into the nitty gritty now. So this is a foolish notion of heaven, because after some time you will become blase, blase, jaded, jaded. That means cloyed, cloyed, which means distaste due to overexposure. Mohammatadam. Yeah? Distaste due to overexposure or distaste due to excessive sweetness, that is cloyed, blase, jaded, and you will get fed up. And these foolish religions also say that all others, that is the infidels, unbelievers, will go to eternal hell, where they will be eternally tortured, and their psychopathic god is devising all kinds of creative methods of continuously torturing. For example, if the skin gets burnt, a new skin is given so that it can get burnt again, and chappals of fire will be given. You will have to wear fire chappal. That is a lot of creativity. These idiots don't understand that even we humans are willing to pardon even the worst criminal. You see, the worst criminal we are willing to pardon. In our jails we have what is called a parole and all that. So if we humans are willing to pardon, God should be infinitely merciful, isn't it? So their concept of hell and heaven are these concepts are childish, immature, sophomoric, callow, callow, infantile, puerile, juvenile. These are religions meant for children, childish religions. Now let us come back to our discussion. So the Vedas declares that Atma Jnana, or in other words, meeting Krishna, meeting Rama, your Ishtadevata, is not possible if you are weak. Weak in every sense. If you are physically weak, if you are mentally weak, psychologically weak, spiritually weak, religiously weak, socially weak, economically weak, all these fellows will fail the criteria. So they will not get the eligibility. Next, by listening to a lot of lectures, no, even that is that's not going to confer eligibility. And if you exercise your mind like the Western philosophers, eating pork and beef and consuming all kinds of asuric food and tamasic food, and then churning out lot of meaningless, idiotic philosophies, these rascals will also go to hell, but not eternal hell. In Hinduism, we don't consign anybody to eternal hell. That's thinking, and actually, believing in eternal hell is itself a serious moral defect. Serious moral defect. And then the most important concept here is the Vedas also declare, if somebody mistakenly follows a particular ritual and a system, thinking that somehow God is going to be conferring moksha, then again he is mistaken. So if you have a false notion of austerity, false notion of tapas, that means if you are indulging in some rituals, just because a billion people are following this stupid ritual doesn't mean that God is going to give you some concession and going to confer on you the summum bonum, which is the highest benefit. which is moksha. No. If you are heedless, if you are not listening, if you are listening but not following, good advice, and if you are torturing your body, karshayanta sharirastam, कर्षयंत शरीरस्थम भूतग्रामम अचेतसः मां चैवांत शरीरस्थम तान विद्या असुर निश्चयान. Krishna declares in the 17th chapter 6th shloka. So these idiots are torturing me also. Karshayanta sharirastham bhutagramam achetasah manchaivanta sharirastham tan vidya asura nischayan. So people undertake all kinds of weird fasts, fasting. Some amount of fasting is sensible, it is scientific and rational, because we are eating actually too much. But over fasting and fasting unscientifically throughout the day, fasting and gorging on food at sunset, that will suddenly cause your sugar to shoot up, and all kinds of dangerous diseases and all problems are there. Totally. So these kind of unscientific, irrational, benighted, backward, very superstitious practices are there, and people are worshipping tombs and offering chaddars and all kinds of weird babas. These weird babas are also, their miracles are amazing. These fellows are pulling out their liver and kidneys and intestines and washing them nicely and drying them on trees. These miracles, people get carried away. I am reminded of an incident. There was a man who met Ramakrishna Paramahamsa, and this man acquired some siddhi, and he told Ramakrishna Paramahamsa that after 25 years of tapasya and all these austerities, I have acquired the ability to walk on water. So Ramakrishna Paramahamsa had a good laugh. He said, "You are a bloody fool." No, of course, he did not say that, almost amounting to something like that. You see, he said, for 10 paisa, those days 10 paisa was sufficient. For 10 paisa, you can take a boat and go across the river. And you have wasted 25 years to save this 10 paisa. You're a bloody idiot, isn't it? So, anyway, what the point here I am trying to tell you is, if you want to meet Krishna, become eligible. How can you become eligible? The question is, how can you become eligible? Very simple. Live the Gita. Don't run away into the forest. Don't listen to crap. If you are listening to Bhagavad Gita, that too being interpreted correctly by somebody who has understood Krishna Tattva, then that is useful. But simply by listening, or by studying a lot of books, or by indulging in some practice which you mistakenly believe is good for you, and if it is a false notion of austerity, then you are doomed. Anyway, I have given you a lot of backdrop now. I will read the verses. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaisha vrunute tena labhya tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena yame vaisha vrunute tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. So Atmajnanam cannot be obtained by merely listening to lectures, nor by philosophizing, nor by reading a lot of books, Shastra Vasana. It can be obtained only by one whom Krishna chooses. So Krishna will reveal only to an Arjuna, reveal himself only to an Arjuna. So become Arjuna, acquire the eligibility. So please understand. So material knowledge can be acquired. Material knowledge is like matter. You can through manual labor, mental labor, or reading lot of books, all that can be. But Atmajnanam, you have to be eligible for it. For that you don't have to read books also. Seriously. Even the most illiterate person. In fact, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa was an illiterate. Well, while his disciple Vivekananda was probably the greatest scholar the world has ever seen. So, then again one more verse. Nayamatma balahinena labhyo nacha pramadat tapaso vapyalingat. Etair upayair yatate yastu vidvams tasyaisha atma vishate brahmadham. So, Atmajnanam is again not obtained by one who is weak. I already told you, physically weak, mentally weak, psychologically weak, spiritually weak, economically weak, socially weak, all types of weakness, this fellow. So, If somebody is weak and then careless, heedless, and through a false notion of austerity, false notion of tapas, indulging in stupid rituals and superstitions which waste time, all kinds of yajnas people are doing, it's a total waste of time. There is a lot of work to be done. So, what you should do is work continuously. Whatever you are good at, continuously work. Look at Modi ji, how he is working. Look at Yogi ji. Don't rest on your ass. Get up, move, keep working. Whatever you're good at, that is your yajna. Jnana yajna. And jnana yajna is acquiring knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of the Vedas. Spread that, teach that, study that, and listen to that. So if you are foolishly following some Baba or some tomb and some crap like that, and if you are not willing to listen because of your stupid ego, then you are finished. You are wasting your human life. And human life is a rare opportunity. There is no guarantee the next time around you will be born as a human. You will end up being born as a dog or a pig or some bloody worm. So become eligible. So to become eligible, you become a karma yogi and follow Krishna. 1866. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam raja aham tva sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. So I will read these verses again. Nayamatma pravachanena labhyo na medhaya na bahuna shrutena. Yamevaisha vrunute tena labhyas tasyaisha atma vivrunute tanum swam. Next. Nayamatma balahinena labhyo nacha pramadat tapaso vapyalingat. Alingat, you see, alingat means avidhi purvakam, improper, not done by proper means. So this is what I explained already. Nayamatma balahinena labhyo nacha pramadat tapaso vapyalingat etair upayair yatate yastu vidvams tasyaisha atma vishate brahmadham. So one who strives by these means, that person will enter Goloka Vaikuntham or Krishna's Dham, which is beyond Brahmadham. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna.